Hello, welcome to another Graflex 2.0 installation. This one is for Mustapha. So Mustapha saw my couple of my previous builds and he thought that he liked them and got in touch, and here we are. So let's talk a little bit about the configuration first of all. So this one has a blue white, so Empire Strikes Back light colour. It's got the standard Graflex 2.0 clamp card here. It's got a clamp card switch holder underneath there, so I'm gently going to just undo that. So you've got a switch there and a switch there. It's got a few KR Sabers mods, so you've got the flat beer tab there. It's got this screw here. It's got a clamp screw there, and it's got an emitter retention screw here holding the blade plug in at the moment. So that's a gold, let me guess focus, there we go. So it's a brass, I think that outside's clear, blade plug, and here, as you can probably see, let's see if I can get a better angle on it, we have a big hole. So Mustapha wanted a shine through, and we managed to get that working. So the emitter assembly and everything else sits down there. Now it's hard to see because first of all the blade plug's in the way, so let me get that out of the way. Okay, just to let you know, to take the blade out you have to loosen this screw here. So I don't believe you have to take it all the way out, but you do have to pinch the bunny ears as well. And there's the blade plug, so that will also apply to the blade itself. I haven't cut this, so it does sit a couple millimeters out when it's fully in, but I like that look. I don't think there's a need to cut it. If you want that changing, that's fine, let me know. So let's see if we can have a look now. There, so you can briefly, very slightly see the LED assembly there. Anyway, so you will notice that this is sat out here rather than it's being screwed in, and that's because I've had to glue in the glass eye bit because I'd removed the screw, the spring that was holding it in, and the glass eye popped out. So I've got some really strong sort of glass glue that's drying on there, and that's going to cure overnight. But I can probably put it on just to show you what it looks like if I'm careful. So we'll get to that in a bit. Zoom out. So one of the things I haven't done yet, and this is so that you can have a listen to it first of all, is I haven't drilled the extra hole. If you look where that small little mark is there, that's ready for me to drill a bigger hole so that sound vents a lot better. Well, I say a lot, but it's marginal, I think, after reflecting on a few different builds that I've done. And from the back here, so first of all, we've got a few rivets here. We've got some rivets there, so that helps sound ventilation straight away. It's red button activation, double aux switch here. So at the back here you have the kill key here. It's one of those rotatey ones, so if you turn it halfway, clockwise or counterclockwise, it feels like it's loosened up and it activates the board. If you twist it down around the other half, it basically cuts power, and you can keep that as it is or just buy yourself a more robust one that you can just plug in and it's always off, and take it out and it's always on. The other thing is, let me try and zoom a little bit. So the lighting's not great here, and I apologise. There, so if you see the board, you can also see the SD card. So to get that out, either get some tweezers or a flathead screwdriver, or just, if you've got a nail, just push in like that and it will pop out. So it's a spring-loaded SD card as you'd expect. So the board inside here, it's an Igniter 2, for those who are just watching and have no idea of this build. It's the first Igniter 2 that I've done, and it's probably, in my opinion, it's the best board I've worked with. I've not worked with the high-end crystal focus yet, but For a single cell solution, I think this is the best one in my opinion. So without further ado, I'll take this bottom half off. So to take it off, Moss, you just have to loosen this and then just twist that anti-clockwise and it'll pop off. The other thing I've done is I've sanded the hole down here behind this. You can't see it, so it's more of a circle than square, and quite a few people do this. And what that means is when this is open, if you turn it anti-clockwise, it will, previously it would have stopped there, but it's a little bit stiff, but you can turn it further than that. Actually saying that, it's it doesn't want to do it right now. I'm going to do that again actually. I'll take this plate off and just put a circular hole there. So it is possible, it's just really stiff and I can't really do it one-handed, but that will make it easier so that if you twist it anti-clockwise and the clamp will become loose. If you tighten it up, then this will tighten up as well, and that will also hold this on a bit better. Not that it needs any extra tension, it's mainly for the clamp card, so you can adjust it how you see fit. I'll do it as best I think, and before I send it to you, so don't worry about that. So let's get this off. Okay, so here we go. This is the Goth3D Master Chassis, another variation on this. So in terms of parts, I believe we have 4 stainless steel parts, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. We have gold steel parts here, so there's 1 here, 1 inside holding the crystal, 1 here, and Moss had the option of having this grinded down to make it just smooth, but he opted just to keep it as it is, and I think it goes well with the gold steel as well, because I guess if you make that smooth, then this might look a bit odd, but as it is, I think it looks pretty nice. So I'm sure you'd agree with that. The other thing in terms of maintenance, let's just well, not just maintenance, but actually just the way to use this. If you're going to put this back on, which you will, once you put it on, when you get to here, it's going to stop, and there's nothing restricting it apart from this here. So just there's some play in it. Just lift this gently, and then you'll be able to push the bottom end in. So again, there we go. One-handed isn't the best way to do this, but that's what you want to do, and then you want to gently twist this on clockwise and that'll be it. But we're not doing that right now because we're going to see how shiny this thing is. So let's twist the kill key. Come alive. Did I twist it enough? No. There we go. So that's the only thing with those, they're a bit fidgety. So accent LEDs, you'll notice the crystal's lighting up pink. I promise I haven't got a pink LED there. So on the underside we've got a white and a red together next to each other. That's white, looks pink. At the top we've got a blue and a green. So there's 4 accent LEDs there. I haven't done much configuration on this apart from just make sure that they're on, and they do blink in all sorts depending on the state that the saber's in. So when you press the button, when you turn it off, when you do a clash, a lockup, or when it's idle. So without further ado, let's press this magic button. That's a thing of beauty. So this is changing colour because the accents are so close to it. So it's primarily blue, but it's getting lots of other colours mixed in with it as it's just running, and the accents are blinking. So it's got a white there as well, so if I was to clash it or activate a blaster, you'll see the white LED comes on there as well, and also there. So because it's got shine through, look at that, you can't see anything there, but I can tell you that I've got 2 blues on there at the same time, and if I press this, the white does come on. Now that's got a low battery. I've been using this and tinkering with it for what seems like an age now, and even since I've got the new battery in there, I've been wearing it down, so I need to put it on charge overnight. So that's why it's just rebooted like that. And that's one of the nicer things about the NEC boards. They don't do any funky swinging or messing up the speaker noises or anything like that. They just switch off. And that tells you that the battery needs charging. So I will charge that overnight, and I'll test that before I send it to you, so don't worry about that. So fonts wise, you've got 6 fonts. And for the majority, they've all too easy. I like that one.
The Dark Order, Velocity, Major, 501 commit.
I swear that's more than 6.
50. Now that testing essence.
And there's Scott saying testing.
Episode 2.
And that's the first font. So the only one I've really properly been tinkering with is this one. So this was my base font. So what I did is I've driven both blue LEDs here to their maximum brightness when it's on. The white is only activated for flash and clash. So that's the main change I've done on that font. Every other font, I believe you're gonna have to mess with the settings yourself, because under the blade color tab, it's got an option. It's gonna have 3 sliders at the top: C1, C2, C3, and you need to just make sure that C1 and C2 are your 2 blues and your C3 is your white. So if you want them all to be the same, you're gonna have to go into each font config one by one, go to blade color, turn C1 and C2 to maximum, and turn C3 to 0, and then on the clash tab, it'll have another 3 sliders to say what do you want it to do when it clashes. And of course for father son, I've got it so that all 3 are maximum, because I want the 2 blues to stay on and I want the white to mix in as well. So that's just a quick tutorial on how to use the config, but I know you've got some experience with these boards, man, so I won't go into too much detail. The only other thing I've done on all of the fonts is the accent LEDs. So I've set it so that it's got 5 on, although there's only 4 on there. I've bypassed pad 4 just because there was a slight issue with that pad, and it seems to be working now, but I didn't want to send it out to you on a pad that may not be 100%. And there's a slight issue with the resistor on there. Now I think it came to me that way. I didn't touch it, but it seems to have become damaged, or sort of the solder's just come off it. But I've bridged it now, so it does work. Pad 4 does work, but I'm just telling you that for full disclosure. In the interest of your usage, it doesn't make a bit of difference at all. Just make sure that it's set to 5 when you're configuring any accent LEDs, and that'll be fine. Normally they come set to 7 or 8, and they kind of blink in various different orders. But it gets really interesting when you realize how much customization you can have on each accent LED. So you can have, I believe the accent tab on the Igniter config editor has probably 8, 1 for each LED, 8 sliders at the top, and 8 sliders at the bottom, and the top ones correspond to how long each LED stays on in milliseconds before going off, and the bottom one is the opposite, so how long that LED stays off before the next one in the line or in the sequence comes on. So it's really confusing, and until you start playing with it, it might sound like gibberish, but yeah, man, that's what I've found anyway. So there's a lot more stuff you can do with the Igniter, and I've only barely scratched the surface. But let's just I'm gonna get the clamp guard put on, and this glass eye, even though it's not fully dry, I'll just be a bit careful about it. Just give me a second. Alright, so let's show you what the shine through looks like. There you go. That's a beauty. That's the first shine through I've done, so be glad. So it's a very smooth job, actually, considering it's the first one I've done. The other thing is, I'm just going to get a blade in here just to show you what it looks like with a complete blade. Okay, here we go. So all I've done, I unscrewed this emitter retention screw a little bit. I took the glass eye out, put the blade in. This glass eye doesn't touch the blade, so don't worry about that. But you can use it as a guide just to make sure that the blade's sitting flush with the emitter. And because it's the first time I've put the blade in, I thought I'd do that. The other thing is, don't forget to put this on, because otherwise your blade will be loose. But yeah, that's sturdy. Let's turn this on. That's the thing of beauty. Wow. Yeah. Oops. I think I did some igniter specific fancy stuff there. So I think it's got some motion settings if you twist and stuff. So I think what I did there is something about the colour profiles and the twist. I can't remember what it's called. But that's one of the reasons I'm going to get it for myself, because I'm going to try and put some quotes on each twist. But for this one, that is it, my friend. I'm just going to put everything back together. Before I do that, let's just show you this. So I haven't grinded any the bunny ears down, but with the blade in, that's how they look. I think that's actually alright. There are some kits that come with bunny ears that look pinched when the blade's in. I'm going to leave that as it is unless you want it changing, so let me know. Okay, here we are with everything assembled, almost everything. Left this open so I can just go over a couple things with you. So, I mean, sound wise, I'm going to close this up and I'll show you how loud it is. You can let me know if you want it swapping, sorry, you want it drilling out. Okay, so let's turn this on. I think I've shown you everything that I wanted to show you on this. Oh, there's one more thing. When you put this bottom end on, because you've had to kind of lift the clamp switch holder there a little bit, sometimes the switch on this side ends up sitting a little bit high, so that when you click this here, you'll notice it's making a clicking sound. So if you turn the volume up, you can hear that. So that feels more real to me, but sometimes the bottom end, because of having to raise this a little bit, sometimes it loses that clicky feeling. So what you need to do is just gently press it down again, so that the clamp switch holder sits against the bottom of the as far down as it can go, really. So then it clicks again. But that's the only thing I've noticed, and it's sort of just expected. But there we have it, man. If you want this drilling out, let me know, and I'll do it. And I'll put this on charge tonight, and I'll give it a full proper test tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you enjoy your saber when you get it, and let me know how you get on. Bye bye.